evening and welcome to News Rounds. I am Nkechi Tejiri. Here are our top stories. Federal government warns of heavy floods in 198 local government areas across 31 states. Olu of Warri extends bursary scheme to more Ishekiri students. CBN may sue FX contract violators after forensic audit. ADC caught in crossfire as Atiku-Obi rivalry escalates. Trump orders U.S. colleges to reveal race data in admissions. Nadozie Madugu earned Ballon d'Or nominations. Now to the news in full. The federal government has issued a fresh warning as torrential rains continue across parts of the country. The Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency, NRHSA, says 198 local government areas across 31 states and the Federal Capital Territory are at risk of heavy flooding between August 7th and 21st. NRHSA classified the flood threat levels as very high, high, and moderate, depending on the terrain and projected rainfall volume. The agency is urging residents in the affected areas to take precautionary measures. In Lagos, the state government sympathized with Ikorodu residents affected by Monday's downpour and assured that measures are in place to manage flash floods and deliver humanitarian support. Meanwhile, the Federal Ministry of Environment has also activated the National Flood Early Warning System Center, urging stakeholders to act swiftly in at-risk states such as Adamawa, Bayelsa, Benue, Kogi, Rivers, and Lagos states. The presidency has pushed back against claims that Nigeria is on the verge of collapse, describing recent media reports as exaggerated and misleading. In a statement on Thursday, President Tinubu's Special Advisor on Media and Public Communications, Sunday Dare, criticized the recent editorial titled "Nigeria is Collapsing Under Tinubu's Watch," accusing it of stoking public fear and distorting the true state of the nation. Presidency says Nigeria is not collapsing, urging critics to avoid alarmist journalism. While admitting that economic challenges remain, Dare clarified that the claim of 33 million Nigerians being at risk of hunger is only a projection from the Kader Harmonized Report, not a confirmed statistic. He highlighted the government's response measures, including food reserve releases, agricultural programs, and cash transfers. The advisor also pointed to improvements in the Naira exchange rate and ongoing economic reform expected to yield results by 2026. The Olu of Warri's bursary initiative has taken a significant leap with the release of the first list of successful applicants under the Ogiamia Tuwashe III CFR Ishekiri Students Bursary Scheme. The announcement was made by the monarch's representative to the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, marking a key milestone in His Majesty's commitment to advancing education among Ishekiri youths. Ogiamia Tuwashe III bursary scheme, hundreds of Ishekiri students benefit as monarch pushes education reform. The scheme targets students in 200 level and above across Nigerian tertiary institutions. While the first batch has been confirmed, the office has now extended the program to accommodate more beneficiaries. Communities are invited to nominate 3 eligible students each before the August 31st deadline. Submissions must be sent via WhatsApp along with key academic documents. The office emphasized transparency in the selection process and thanked the Ishekiri Nation for its cooperation. The initiative, they said, reflects His Majesty's long-term vision for capacity development through education. You're watching News Round. We'll go on a short break. More news to come when we return.
Don't miss out on exciting news, events, and more. Stay connected by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV.
Welcome back. Now to some business stories. Tensions are rising in Nigeria's marine and blue economy sectors as the National Association of Government-Approved Freight Forwarders, NAGAF, accuses 4 freight forwarding associations of sabotaging government reforms. At a press briefing in Lagos, NAGAF called for the deregistration of the associations and the withdrawal of their Corporate Affairs Commission certificates, citing national interest. NAGAF accuses 4 freight forwarding groups of sabotaging regulatory reforms in the blue economy sector. The controversy stems from a legal dispute where the groups aligned with a court ruling challenging the authority of the Council for the Regulation of Freight Forwarding in Nigeria, CRFFN. NAGAF, however, argues that the ruling is under appeal and unenforceable, and it insists that those undermining CRFFN's mandate should step aside. The group is calling for urgent government intervention to prevent what it describes as regulatory and economic sabotage disguised as activism. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, is considering legal action against individuals and companies found guilty of violating foreign exchange forward contract regulations following the completion of a forensic audit. In an official statement, the Apex Bank said it is reviewing appropriate legal measures ranging from civil and administrative to criminal sanctions based on the audit findings. The CBN added that it will work with relevant law enforcement and regulatory agencies in prosecuting the violators. CBN Governor Olayemi Cardoso had earlier disclosed that the bank engaged Deloitte to conduct a comprehensive forensic audit of transactions in the retail secondary market intervention sales, especially those involving undelivered forward contracts. The audit process examined contract documentation, trade confirmations, and compliance with CBN circulars and FX guidelines. It also verified whether the beneficiaries were genuine and eligible counterparties. According to the CBN, the audit uncovered significant irregularities. Some findings included discrepancies between approved sales and company names on Form M, forex allocations that exceeded requested amounts, and unauthorized imports, such as companies importing milk without approval. All affected parties were given the opportunity to respond before the CBN invalidated the contracts. Legal proceedings may soon follow as the Apex Bank vows to restore integrity to Nigeria's forex markets. A major diesel supply dispute is threatening telecom services across Nigeria as the fallout between Telecom Tower Operators (IHS) and the Natural Oil and Gas Suppliers Association of Nigeria (NOGASA) escalates. The crisis stems from allegations by IHS that 2 NOGASA-affiliated companies misappropriated diesel stocks, an accusation the association has denied, instead accusing IHS of breaching contracts and failing to pay for verified deliveries. Telecom services face blackout as diesel suppliers and base station operators clash over unpaid deliveries. Over 16,000 sites at risk of shutdown in Lagos, Kaduna, and Delta. Telecom operators under the Association of Licensed Telecom Operators of Nigeria, ALTON, warn that over 16,000 base stations across Lagos, Kaduna, and Delta states are at risk of shutdown due to restricted diesel access. The operators say millions of mobile, internet, and banking customers could be affected, alongside hospitals, schools, and other vital institutions. While Alton calls the move sabotage and a threat to national security, both NOGASA and NUPENG maintain that no diesel will be released until outstanding payments are made. We'll go for another short break. More news stories when we return.
When the lights go out, who do you call? Tikado! Tikado Energy Solutions Limited. Dual plug for electrical power, surveillance system, and entertainment. From expert electrical installation to efficient eco-friendly solar inverter systems, no matter the size, Ticado delivers smart energy solutions designed for today and tomorrow. We also help you secure your space with our cutting-edge security and surveillance system. Enjoy crystal clear entertainment with our professional DSTV and cable TV installation. Visit Ticado today at Block F4, Suite 41 and 42, HFP East Line Plaza, Abraham Adesanya, Aja, Lagos. Or call 0906 902 5025 or 0815 176 6817. Explore our services at ticado.com.ng. Ticado Energy Solutions Limited. Power, protection, peace.
Welcome back. The African Democratic Congress, ADC, is reportedly at the center of a fresh political storm as the rivalry between former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and Labour Party's Peter Obi intensifies ahead of the 2027 general elections. Sources within the ADC who spoke under the condition of anonymity allege that Atiku has been funding covert moves to dominate the party's structure, eyeing it as a possible platform to relaunch his presidential bid. They claim that most of the party's state chapters, zonal bodies, and even its national leadership have tilted in favor of Atiku's influence. However, in a swift reaction, ADC's interim National Publicity Secretary, Bolaji Abdullahi, dismissed the claims, insisting there is no takeover by the former vice president. With both Atiku and Obi exploring future political moves, analysts say the battle for party structures could reshape Nigeria's opposition landscape ahead of 2027. The Arewa Consultative Forum says the North will not be swayed by promises of a one-term presidency amid speculations that former President Goodluck Jonathan may be fielded by the People's Democratic Party in 2027. ACF rejects one-term bait, says Region 6's genuine political engagement. ACF National Publicity Secretary Professor Tukur Muhammad Baba made this known in the statement, saying while Jonathan remains respected, using the one-term clause as a bargaining chip is a political tactic, not a constitutional mandate. Speculations continue to swell over a possible Jonathan Kwankwaso ticket in 2027 aimed at building a North-South alliance, but the ACF insists the North support will depend on policy direction and national interest, not political gimmicks. In a move stirring major controversy across the U.S. education sector, President Donald Trump has ordered all U.S. universities to submit detailed enrollment data to prove they are not using race as a factor in admissions. The directive comes nearly 2 years after the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that race-based affirmative action was unlawful, though schools still consider applicants' personal stories involving race. Trump signs executive order demanding transparency from U.S. universities on admissions practices involving race. Trump's memo accuses universities of hiding behind diversity statements and racial proxies, despite the Supreme Court's ruling. Since returning to office, the president has cracked down on what he calls woke ideologies, scrapping diversity, equity, and inclusion policies in government institutions. The new order mandates that all race-related admission data be submitted to the National Center for Education Statistics to ensure full transparency and compliance. Now to some sporting stories. Nigeria's Super Falcons have once again made headlines on the global stage as goalkeeper Chiamaka Nnadozie and head coach Justin Madugu have both been nominated for major awards at this year's Ballon d'Or ceremony. Nnadozie is in the running for the Women's Yachin Trophy, which honors the best female goalkeeper, while Madugu is nominated for the Women's Johan Cruyff Trophy for best coach. Nnadozie's stellar performances were pivotal in Nigeria's WAFCON title run, where she kept 4 clean sheets and was named best goalkeeper. She also led Paris FC to their first Coupe de France title in 20 years with a penalty shootout heroics against PSG. The Ballon d'Or ceremony is scheduled for September 22nd in Paris, where she'll compete against top scorers, top keepers from Germany, Spain, England, and the Netherlands. Super Eagles B coach Eric Chell has expressed concern over his team's lack of aggression following their 1-0 loss to defending champions Senegal in their opening Group D match at the 2024 African Nations Championship in Tanzania. The match, played at the Amman Stadium, saw Senegal clinch victory through a second-half strike by Christian Gomis, despite both sides creating chances in the Kage encounter. Chile warned that unless Nigeria improves its mindset and plays more aggressively, especially in upcoming matches against Sudan and Congo, their CHAN campaign could end early. The coach, leading Nigeria's return to the tournament after missing 2 editions, emphasized that both offensive and defensive intensity must increase if the team hopes to progress. Nigeria, currently bottom of Group D, faces Sudan next Tuesday. A win is crucial to keep their qualification hopes alive ahead of their final group game against Congo. And with that sports news, we come to the end of News Rounds for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I am Nkechi Tejiri. Have a pleasant evening.